The Fury of Firestorm, issue 2. Jeff Lemire writing with RAFAEL De LATORRE on the R. So we loved issue 1 of this. It was a genuine nice surprise. And issue 2 reins things in a little bit by giving us effectively the origin of Firestorm, which isn't a complaint, though, because Firestorm is the type of character that most of us probably haven't read an origin for. So it's actually very welcome in this case.
And it also, Ronnie Raymond's a character that I don't know much about, right? Like, most of my interaction with Ronnie Raymond came from the what was that show on CW?
A Flash?
Yeah, he was on Flash, and then he was on Legends of Tomorrow, right?
No, Ronnie wasn't. No,
Ronnie wasn't.
No, it was the second character who was Firestorm.
Okay, so Flash. Then Ronnie was Legends. On Flash. Then, right?
Ronnie was on Flash, and then I think he died.
Okay, so that anyways, that's the most interaction I've had with Ronnie Raymond. So Lemire going through and giving him this origin of wanting to earn his dad's, like, not trust, but what is it? Like, he wants his dad to notice him. So he just keeps trying and trying. And that's how he ends up working for Stein. All because of that.
Nothing's ever good enough for his dad is kind of the thing. But I mean, before we even get to the plot details, like the way it's told, like the comparisons to Dr. Manhattan are going to be even thicker, because we brought that up last time, but in this time we get that whole thing where he's like, oh, where am I? I am here. He doesn't quite say it like Dr. Manhattan. He doesn't say like the date and time like Dr. Manhattan would,
right?
But it very much has that, like, I'm experiencing these 3 or 4 things at the same time kind of idea. Because we get him kind of holding his head, and he kind of breaks away into his past, and we get this idea of like this sentient Firestorm voice being a separate thing that just speaks in these one words, like talking about fusion and whatnot. But we get these flashbacks to him going for the job at Professor Stein's lab and being woefully underprepared for it, doesn't really know what he's talking about, and it flashbacks further. On you go.
Yeah, the idea that this guy who's not that great at physics, like, we see that he's got a C, to impress a girl, try to get a job as the the physicist's assistant. And when he tells him, I was like, all right, do this equation for me. And he just stares at it. It gave me such a laugh. And this is the type of stuff I expect from Lemire. Like, the really human, like, getting in there. And this kid is just like trying to prove himself to everybody. And Stein seeing that. And I was like, all right, you can work for me, but we got to get the math down for you, bud. So it just shows that, like, paternal influence that Stein has on him.
I mean, that's the thing, is that he thinks he's going to get kicked out and be told to, go away, the job's not his. And Stein's like, no, I see potential in you. You do have to learn this shit, but like, I see potential in you. So it does this. It's this moment of kindness. It's something that his father seemingly has never really given him. So it sort of starts to bond off in a good place. But it flashes. We don't get to that part of it though until later, because it flashes back. We see him walking into like this day with Stein, and it flashes back to when he was a kid playing with JSA toys, and then when he was playing in his football game, but his dad wasn't in the crowd. Then he didn't, get picked for team at college or whatever it is. And then it comes back to the day with Stein, and then that interaction plays out where he basically confesses that he has no idea what he's doing, and Stein's like, well, oh, so why are you even here? And he admits it's because of a girl, and he says who it is, and he's like, oh yeah, that girl's she's brilliant, she's a great student. All right, okay, well, wait, you can still get the job if you want. I just have to teach you how to do this shit. So it's like, okay, this starts off the friendship. There's a bit of a montage of like him working with Stein, him talking to the girl, the friendship brewing, and then eventually, Stein calling him to his lab in the late night, saying, "Hey, I need your help with something. I'm getting paranoid. People are trying to pry into my like experiments and what I'm up to." And ultimately, there's a bomb planted in the lab. And when Stein sees it, he tries to help, shield Ronnie from it, and this obviously leads to them becoming Firestorm. And I love the page turn to like the evil, like sentient Firestorm after that, where he's just in the black smoke, and it just looks like actual fire, and the glow from the fire is the only thing lighting him up. The art's gorgeous on that page.
and there's that void of a face that we're gonna see later.
Yes.
Set up right here, you know, and just and it almost looks celestial because of all the embers. So you're almost like, well, this is larger than the universe type stuff here. And I also like that it's the Firestorm voice going fusion.
Yeah. Also,
right?
because all of the flashbacks were all in this muted blue color tone, all the orange and the red of the flames once we get to the explosion and then this Firestorm, because again it repeats the same words it did earlier, which is a division, reaction, fusion, and so now we have this Firestorm. And again, we get a bit more of like a history of Firestorm here, where he was working as a superhero. Stein's in his head saying, "Hey, transform this to water or something." To this is quite simple. But then again, reality breaks away. There's this big 2-page layout where like the face and the panel start to break away into the white, and Ronnie starts falling through the infinite, and he ends up in like the dark part of his mind with the sentient Firestorm, and he's like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I am the Firestorm." And he's like, "No, I'm Firestorm, buddy." What are you talking about? Who are you?
Well, and the fact that it calls itself the Firestorm.
Yes, the Firestorm.
And he goes, "No, I'm Firestorm." He goes, "You are nothing." And then seemingly incinerates Ronnie.
Yes, in his head, and just turns to white, and then the next page is the panel close-up of Firestorm's eye pulling out, and he's still sitting there on that bench in this town where he's frozen everyone into a material, and he's like, "I am the Firestorm, I am the Fury." And we finally come back to the military, like watching all this from the outside of the town and being like, shit, like his face has disappeared, he's becoming less human. What about that woman? She's off to find Professor Stein. Can we even wait for her? Things are getting bad. So we don't actually follow up on her finding Stein. Obviously we got that tease at the end of last issue, and Stein clearly thinking that Firestorm's become sentient. But the ending of this issue is like, hey, this might be out of our hands now. Maybe they can do something about it. And the final page is a team from the Justice League have arrived in the town. So we got Supergirl, we got Flash, we got Kyle Rayner, Hawkgirl, and Martian Manhunter descending. So we got some big guns here to come and maybe see what's going on with Firestorm.
We're just missing a bat from having a classic type of lineup. Right? We got a Kryptonian, we got Manhunter, we got a Hawk.
I think it makes sense there's no bat though, because like what's a Batman going to do against the Firestorm? So
No, I know, but just like this is a league issue, right? This is not just like, oh, send someone to go talk to him. This is, we need a team.
Sure, yeah.
So
I mean it says something with when Hawkgirl's the weak link in terms of power levels, So it makes sense. It makes sense that if Firestorm did this to a town, why wouldn't the Justice League send out a response team? Like they'd have to come and investigate it. It makes total sense that they would.
On that page where Ronnie falls into the nothingness, I love the art touch that it's the panels that are making up Firestorm that are falling apart. They're alternating the different art styles, right? So it's that really flat Silver Agey style, right?
With the dots,
the more current one, and all of that, and so it's just like this amalgamation of the different things that falls away into nothing. And I was like, that was a page when I turned to it, I was like, wow,
I think
this looks real cool.
It's so effective because, like, I mean, the only frustration you could possibly have is like, oh, maybe you wanted a payoff to the ending to the first issue with going to find Stein. But I think it's so smart that the first issue set up what the situation is. It set up that, okay, Firestorm's done this to a town. And we have this new, I'm forgetting the girlfriend's or the ex-girlfriend's character's name, sorry. But she
Firehawk, I remember that much.
Firehawk, sure. She gets sent in to try and see what's going on, and we get the people in the hazmat suits and like everyone trying to approach them, and it's very science fiction horror-esque. I like that the second issue is like, no, now we're going to set up the character of who Ronnie Raymond is and what Firestorm is and what's going on in the head of Firestorm. And then the Justice League showing up at the end is like a very different side of the whole thing, but you feel like, oh, this can all come together in like issues 3 and 4 where, maybe we follow up this next time, or maybe we start off with the Stein and the Firehawk stuff next time. But either way, they both feel like important parts of what's going on. So it feels like it's really fleshing out like what's going on. Because now we care about who's in there, as opposed to it just being this like faceless walking monster that's, doing all this bad stuff,
And through 2 issues, I've cared more about Ronnie Raymond as a character through those 2 issues. right, than I ever have, and it's a testament to Lemire storytelling. And it doesn't help that De La Torre's art as well is like phenomenal.
Yeah,
like, across the board.
If I had to pick a favorite of the two, I would pick issue 1 because I think the atmosphere is just that much stronger. But like, it's not because this one is that much weaker in any great sense. It's just a preference. Like this felt like it really added a lot to what's going on and further built this idea of this sentient Firestorm entity, separate from who Ronnie and Stein are. So
kind of it just ups the danger too, because it's like, if this thing is just like atomic energy given, human form, and doesn't have the humanity tying it down, you know what I mean? Like, what is it capable of?
For sure.
But yeah, just the whole "we are Firestorm," that whole thing that's repeated, right? Because it's Ronnie and Stein, and apparently this thing, and they didn't realize it the whole time. That this thing was also born when they fused. So
I'm excited to explore what that means about this being a sentient, like, Firestorm entity and like what we do with that. But no, the story so far is really great, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. I mean, if I have a critique, like, the art's great in this issue. The flashback inherently is like a different type of color scheme and tone, and it does work. But man, when we got to like the proper like scary Firestorm stuff again, I'm like, oh yeah, this is so good, this stuff. Like, it's like, by comparison, the flashback's a lot less visually stimulating, but it's by design. But at the same time, I'm like, when we got back to like the creepy town stuff at the end, I was like, oh, this is so good. This is why I thought the art was so good last time.
Which is that final page with the Justice League showing up, and there's like this fog in the air surrounding them. It just adds this whole atmosphere and texture.
Yeah, it feels like I was going to compare it to Silent Hill, but it's a bit more like ash from a volcano. Like, there's like a nuclear cloud almost, like a nuke's went off, and this is the aftermath kind of vibe. Really
and
good.
And with the past stuff, I want to give De La Torre credit though too, because it feels timeless, right? Because like, when is this supposed to be taking place? How long has he been Firestorm? Is this the 80s? Is this the 90s? It ultimately doesn't matter, because it's like any time, but I feel like the muted colors and a lot of the other decisions that they've made really help that, right? Because it's not like he's showing up to the class with an iPad or a laptop or whatever.
I mean, that's true, although, and just ignoring this book for a second, in the greater like chronology of the DCU, like, we've established via those Titans miniseries a while ago that like the Titans had smartphones, so at the very least, like, I think the earliest it could be is actually in the 2010s now, just based on when the DCU is supposed to have taken place over. But that's just the timey-wimey of comics going on forever and having to constantly change the goalposts as we move. But you know what I mean.
But no, I definitely love that timeless feeling too, like, complete with the people protesting the nuclear energy, right? Because that's when Ronnie goes into there, and why the bomb's there.
Yeah, because if anything, that makes you feel older, right? Because that feels like a 70s thing almost, or something like that.
Right. And so that's where I was like, but the art style makes it feel timeless. Like, it could be at any point in Firestorm from the 80s till now. And yeah, so that said, the dynamite that's stripped together to make the bomb definitely feels old timey.
Oh, that feels like a 1930s cartoon.
Which is real funny. But this book is so good. Like, this is someone I've been telling people to read, especially after that first issue, and this only made me feel justified in it.
Yeah, no, this didn't drop the ball. As much as I liked issue 1 a little bit more, this didn't feel like a down stepper in any way. This was like just tackling a different aspect of it, so everything's a bit more fleshed out, and I'm excited to see where issue 3 goes now. So, Matt, what are you giving Fury of Firestorm issue 2?
I'm giving this a straight 9.
I find it hard to disagree with that. I am also going with the straight 9.